Welcome to the Meat and Potatoes podcast. Today we're here with Tommy Joe Lucia, who is the general manager of Days of 47 Rodeo, which is a great event. I love having you on each year. How are you, Tommy Joe?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I am good. Rodeo season in full effect. COVID in the rearview mirror. It's going to be a good time. So give us a couple of key details, what you love about the event, and let's talk a little rodeo.
Well, it is rodeo season. It is good to see COVID behind us. All of us are still, I think, enjoying the fact that we can get away and get out of the house, maybe.
Yep.
I think it also it taught us something about family along the way, some of the things that we forgot about.
Yep.
But we had a wonderful year last year. We laid off 1 year during COVID. Everything was safe last year, and it went really, really well. Interestingly enough, this year we've in partnership with the state, the name of our event is now the Utah Days of 47 Rodeo. And that's fantastic because we've really become a destination location rodeo. You know, there's a handful of rodeos, and you probably know them, that people are on. If they're a rodeo fan, even if they're not, they're on their bucket list. They want to go to Houston.
Yep.
They want to go to Calgary, to the NFR. Well, we're on that bucket list now, and we should be, because when I came up here from Texas, originally, I really did not understand the amount of things that you can do in Utah in a lot of different ways, whether it's family, whether it's hiking, whether it's rivers, skiing. This is an unbelievable location. And these people are coming up to golf. They're coming up, they see $1 million rodeo, one of the top 3 in the nation, and then can do all those other fun things. And so it's really turned in. We have a lot of people come in from out of state, nationally broadcast. Our ratings in the past 2 years on CBS have beat out most of the major sports. Now, there's a couple of them that we couldn't get past. If we could, who knows what would happen.
Yeah.
But great ratings. And, of course, we're telling the story. You know, there's a lot of new development, new people in the Valley. And the board of directors for the Utah Days of 47 Rodeo, it's Pioneer Day.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of us think, well, Pioneer Days, I got a day off, but I'm not sure if I know. And so we try to make sure that if you come to our event, you can walk through Pioneer encampments. You can see handcart. What is a handcart? You can pull a handcart if you want to see what it felt like.
Yeah.
So it's really interactive, as is most things that are valuable today.
Yep.
Lots to do. Great. We're partnered with R&R Barbecue. The barbecue's over the top. Great barbecue, country and western music playing, carnivals, free pony rides for the kids, petting zoo. We bring in 12 or 15 longhorns. I don't know if you I know you're an old rodeo guy, but these longhorns are not just longhorns. There's like 9.5 feet between the tips of their horns. Can you imagine trying to get around if someone stuck 4.5 feet rod off of each side of your head?
No, it'd be interesting. I'd love it if somebody invented a translator for animals to say, do you wish you didn't have those things on your head?
I'm sure they would.
And they'd be like, yes, take them off.
I would be happy to not have 2 clubs on my head.
Oh, they're amazing animals. And when you get up close, it's just like, how did that happen?
And they start growing like as soon as they hit the grass.
Yeah.
There's a horn.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I love it. Because there's, like, as you mentioned, so many tie-ins to just fun stuff, right? People like going to petting zoos, like being around animals. Good food, obviously. And so the dates are the 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Take a day off on the 24th, and then the 25th.
That's correct. And the 25th is, so we're a unique rodeo. Most rodeos award, for one, we're $1 million.
Yeah.
That's combined prize money. We give away over $100,000 to our youth rodeo, but in combined prize money, we give away $1 million worth of prizes, including $150,000 to the livestock, because they're the second ingredient, right? The livestock owners.
Yeah.
But what makes us unique, and if you see kind of our logo, we're patterned after the successes of the Olympics here.
Yeah.
And we hope to see that Olympic return, right? The
Yep.
Olympic torch return here. But however, so we give away to our winners. OC Tanner provides us with gold, silver, and bronze medals, and they are the real deal.
Oh, cool.
And so now in the rodeo community, you might have a few buckles, but you want to get to Salt Lake and get a gold medal.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I remember right, I was with family and kids and having fun, and but there was a moment of anticipation last year where I think it was a calf roper, that if he won, it was going to be like a big payday. I think he ended up missing.
He missed.
Yep.
Yeah, he was, I don't know, 0.4 of a second from having his own. He had been the Triple Crown winner. So we partner with other events.
Yeah.
And if you win 3 in a row on the third one, and we were the third, and Riley Webb was his name, younger kid, fantastic athlete. He might have choked just a little. I mean, he's so good
Yeah.
that we honestly thought, and we're planning on the broadcast, that he was going to win it.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And
Yeah.
he was a champ in the true cowboy way. He was very, very cool about it. I'm sure he went back to the trailer and threw some ropes around and thought, man, there went the ranch.
Yeah. But it was really fun because like rodeo is very intense and fun. The adrenaline's always running, but the PA announcer did a great job of like, here it is. This is kind of unique and fun, similar to the gold medals. And like everyone's eyes were fixated and collective groan.
Yeah.
Which is, the best ones. Tiger Woods will hit plenty of slices, get plenty of bogeys. And, it's not hard to rope a calf that's running fast.
Well, and, at least Tiger is hitting a ball that isn't moving.
Yeah.
These rodeo athletes, there's so many, and you have a background in this, there's so many elements that affect your success.
Yeah.
It can be weather.
Yep.
Crowd has a big effect on your adrenaline, just like any sport.
Yep.
But then you've got an animal that can 100% do whatever they want.
Yep.
And the interesting thing is, which we do backstage tours, we do things, these animals, this is what they do. They love it.
Yeah.
There's horses and bulls that are $200,000 a piece now, and they work 8 seconds at a time. And when we take people behind the stage, they're like, well, that bull, and when he gets in the chute and you can see his eyes, he's like, it's on.
Yeah.
I'm going to win today.
Yep.
And so the animals are an important part of it, and put that whole unknown element.
Yeah.
And I think Riley's calf ducked a little to the left. I can't remember exactly, but just enough to the left that he had to take one more swing
Yep.
to recalibrate, which was 0.1 of a second away from $1 million.
Life-changing. And that's why I think rodeo is amazing because, to your point, if you're discerning that animals do have a body language, and when a bull bucks a cowboy off, I think they have a little bit of a different saunter as they're going back into the pen.
And there are several bulls today and even historically that will make a victory lap. And it's funny when they get ridden, they're like, no, I'm going to go back and eat some hay. I'll try again next time. But then they throw someone off, and you'll see it. The horses too. They'll do a lap.
Yep.
And you don't recognize that if you see it once because you think, oh, he's just running in a circle. But if you're around it like we are, and we're like, there he goes. Here's his victory lap.
Yeah. So we've got calf roping, steer wrestling, barrel racing, bear brat, saddle bronc, bull riding, mutton busting. And then like in between, there's like crazy things with dogs and buffalo over the years. What are some of those types of entertainment this year? And like, how do you source those?
Well, we try to look for unique entertainment. One of our goals is to make sure that if you bring your little one that's 2, there's some part of that show that they can connect with. Same thing if grandpa comes and he's 92.
Yeah.
And so we still embrace the clowns and a lot of the stuff to match the sport and to give you a breather.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're intensely in. Eight people compete a night in each of 9 disciplines.
Yeah.
One of them, which is new and now a crowd favorite, is called women's breakaway roping. And they rope the calves and the rope breaks free. But the winner last year roped in just about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
2 seconds. And And so, but to answer your question, you know, we have Bobby Kerr coming. He's he's a winner of what's called Specialty Act of the Year, meaning his performances was voted on by the league as the very best. And Bobby he's a rancher. He started his career winning World's Greatest Horseman, where they take a Mustang and they give you a Mustang and they give you like a month, and then you come in and do these routines with him. And Bobby's fantastic. Big handlebar mustache, 1939 car that a horse is sitting in that he rides in. And so Bobby will be performing. We have one of the things we're real proud of is we start every show with what's called the Parade of Champions, which is really a trilogy of the pioneer history.
Yeah.
You know, it starts with pioneers, cattle drives, Native Americans. We'll have 60 or 80 authentic Native Americans in full attire that do a lap around the arena and wave.
Yeah.
And so it's all of those elements that at the end of the day, you walk away and you go, that was exciting. It was fun. And, you know, the real goal is you want to forget about all the stuff, all the emails and the Teams and the Zooms, and just smell it.
Yeah.
Eat the food. Just relax, laugh, enjoy the day. And the stadium at the Utah State Fair Park. So in our business, when you go in to do these events, you have to look at the seats that are killed. That means they're just not good enough to sell. And if you did sell them, the fan might not like it.
Yeah.
But we have 10,000 seats at the Utah State Fair Park. We kill 7 seats.
Okay.
And it's built as a stadium format. So I don't care whether you decide to buy a $14 ticket or you decide to buy a $29 ticket. Two huge screens and ribbon boards. It's really an experience.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels much more like a well-produced sporting event where there's instant replay and the announcers they run the perfect line of like explaining the events for those that are there just for the fun. Then of course you're going to have real cowboys and folks that love rodeo and they're watching it in a different vein. All right. So not a bad seat in the house. 3.5 hours of entertainment?
No, it's about 2.5
2.5 hours.
We try to do it in 2, but we cram so much. I'd like to do it in 2.
Yeah.
But it's really somewhere between 2 and 2.5 at the longest. And then we end the show with a 5-minute aerial fireworks display in tribute to the pioneers.
Yeah.
That you can watch. So it's, max 2.5 hours. Now, again, we don't restrict the animals. Yeah. And if they decide to stay in the arena, my show is scripted. If you see our production scripts, it's scripted in 30-second increments.
Yeah.
But however, a 1,600-pound bucking horse decides when he wants to leave.
Yep.
And so it can vary a little bit, but no more than 2.5 hours.
Perfect. And there's the fireworks that the kids will always remember the fireworks, but my girls, they are always asking about the pretty horses, right? And the amazing entertainment. So for me, I want people to keep that chain connected, right? Like they might not become huge rodeo fans and go to the NFR, but they go to the rodeo at the Days of 47 Arena and they do it because of memories, and their kids will do the same thing, right? That's an important part of what you guys are doing, right?
It is, and it's worth it because, like I said, when you look in the stands, you'll see Grandpa.
Yeah.
And we all remember, you probably remember going to a rodeo as a kid.
Yep.
And it's family friendly. It's exciting. And I do think that Dad, who's a sports fan, has something that he loves in it. Mom might just like those Wranglers.
Yeah.
Right. And so you never really know, but it's true. It's authentic. It's wholesome, and it's not overpriced.
Yeah.
And you can buy a ticket for $14 for a 3-hour event. You can't hardly log on to your Netflix account anymore for $14.
Oh yeah. The value is amazing. All right. So you've got a complex event here. You've got the Cowboys, and gas is $6-7 a gallon. I guess the rough stock Cowboys have it a little bit easier. They could get a Prius.
They could
but the rest have to
pull they can't haul their saddle.
Yeah. The rest have to pull horses and hay and all that equipment. But then you've got the rough stock. And where does the rough stock come from?
It comes from all over the country.
Okay.
We'll have stuff from Texas, Montana, Canada, the West Coast, because it's really critical in our level of rodeo when you're competing for $1 million in prize money. You got to make sure every cowboy has the same chance. Now, his animal might not have his night,
Yeah.
but at least going into it the same chance to win.
Yeah.
So, and interestingly enough, getting into the weeds a little bit, there's just different kind of horses. We have pins, and these are called easy E's, meaning they jump high and they kick high, but they're not real heavy.
Yeah.
They don't jerk on your arm. Well, if you're going to give one cowboy one of those, you got to give the other 7.
Yeah.
So we have to really, a lot of rodeos have one stock contractor, and it's the luck of the draw. You might draw into the one you can't ride or one that you can't win.
Yeah.
In ours, we don't let that happen. And so we'll have 8 different stock contractors. We have 3 housing locations for the livestock. 8 people compete a night in 9 disciplines. And so we'll end up having over 300 athletes, cowboys and cowgirls, coming to compete. They sign autographs. They do a meet and greet pre-show in the concourse for everybody as a part of their agreement to come, so that kids can get that selfie with a cowboy, or at least shake the hand of a beautiful cowgirl for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is fantastic. We're making sure that continues for 100 years. But to meet a real cowboy and see the equipment and realize what they just did or are about to do, that's fun. That's unique. All right, so then the cowboys and cowgirls, they come from all over the world as well, right? I was looking at some of the past winners, and I was expecting to see a lot of Texas, Utah, but it's Louisiana, Montana, Brazil, all over the place. And so they're flying, like with money this big, they'll fly in. I remember a helicopter one year.
Yep.
They're probably going to another rodeo trying to double dip. How do you coordinate all of those schedules?
It's the elements involved in putting on a rodeo are extensive, because you have the animals, you have the production staff, you've got timing and scoring and screens, and then you've got the athletes. And like you said, we've had them come in a helicopter. This corridor of Utah during our tour has a lot of really good rodeos. And you've got Cheyenne, you've got us, you've got Spanish, you got Nampa, and so they try to make all those.
Yeah.
It's the 4th of July is kind of where if you're trying to win points to become a world champion, you need to have a good July.
Yeah.
And so we're right in the middle of that. And so you're right. And it becomes real strategy. There's some cowboys that say, look, all the good guys are going to Utah Days of 47. Maybe I'll go here.
Yeah.
It might be a little easier to win. So there's all kinds of strategy going in. But at the end of the day, we have record runs, timing wise and ride wise. And so you're right. It's it's very interesting. And, we have secretaries and processors, these guys now on their phone come in at certain deadlines and will trade. Like I would tell you, can you do Tuesday? 'Cause I need to go Monday now.
Yeah.
And yes, they process it. We get a new draw. And then we right before the show, interestingly enough, this year in our rough stock, we're allowing the cowboys to draft.
Oh.
So they'll see if you're a bull rider and you're the number 1 coming into our event, you'll have first pick of all 8 bulls.
Oh.
So you can pick the bull that you think you can ride, turns into your hand. That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Because when they spin away from your hand, it's very hard to ride them.
Yep.
So the draft will happen at 5:30 on the concourse. All of the rough stock contestants will pick their athletes for that night.
Oh.
Now, in the past, we've had a program and day sheet, a score sheet that had everybody matched up because it was a draw. This year, you'll just see the animals and the cowboys because they'll have picked them.
That is great.
So it's cool.
Yeah, that is very cool. It's a lot more strategic and scientific than it used to be, I would imagine.
It is. Technology's helped.
Yeah.
But just like everything with technology comes labor.
Yeah.
And, everybody, but we all know, especially you guys, that there's a lot of work that goes into what happens so quickly in the palm of our hands.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's important. And we're doing Pro Fantasy Rodeo this year with our event. So you can, there'll be scan codes all over the concourse. I think you'll like that. You just scan it, you pick your team, You may win that night, or you could win the final round, right? Because your team moves on, and we've got $25,000 worth of prizes and merchandise and tickets. So it's fun.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, okay, I picked this bareback rider. I picked this barrel racer.
Yeah.
Lots of fun with our Pro Fantasy Rodeo approach.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's evolved a lot, and it's I think it's getting more fun, more interactive, and it's more inclusive.
It is, and it's a step back. You know, the original superheroes in our country were cowboys.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the original sport.
Yep.
Ranches getting together and having a good time. And a lot of that is still the same. It's interesting. I did another interview and they talked about, well, what does it mean? And I said, well, when you put a cowboy hat on, and you're put on a code.
Yeah.
You say yes, sir. You say no, ma'am. You don't lie, steal, or cheat. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't cowboys that lie, steal, and cheat. Don't get me wrong. There's Billy the Kids in every group.
Sure.
But it's something cool. There's
Yeah.
something cool about our culture and our way. And we try to make sure that as a fan, you get to take a little bit of that in that 2.5 hours.
I agree 100%. And that's why we love partnering with you guys. And this year we've gone a little bit deeper. We've got partnership with Five for the Fight, the Utah Jazz, Silicon Slopes, and then Real Salt Lake, where it's $5 off for the ticket. That $5 will go for Five for the Fight. That can be found on days47rodeo.com, and then our newsletter and in the link in this podcast. But the code you can put in is FIGHT, $5 off, and it goes.
Just remember FIGHT, Utah Days of 47 Rodeo. You can click on the link. That $5 goes directly to Five for the Fight. And I think we raised, I can't remember the exact amount last year. We hope to double that this year. That's one of our initiatives. We have Bridle Up Hope, which is for young ladies, and a horse program where we're going to break the Guinness Book of World Records. The partnership over actually pretty close to 20,000 origami horses. Have you ever folded an origami horse?
No.
Well, let me tell you, I did, and it is not easy. You got to have an engineering degree, an architect degree, and be able to fold well. So we've got a big, giant horseshoe full of 20,000 horses. We'll break the Guinness Book. All great partners.
Yeah.
Because it's important. The community is important. And I think we kind of prove that in how the Days of 47 operates.
Yep.
And you got a great parade. And now you've got opportunities. Friday night's a good date night. Saturday night's a good night. You can come Monday.
Yeah.
And you got your day off and spend the whole day. And again, our gates open at 4:30 at Utah State Fair Park.
Yeah.
So many people come right before the show, and they miss so much that they don't have to pay for. I mean, you can get on a mechanical bull and ride it for free.
Yeah.
You can. There's jump houses. I mean, and good food and shade to sit under and let your kids enjoy it. They can ride a pony for free. We don't charge. There's a carnival. Now you have to pay if you want to ride the zipper backwards. You need to pay for that.
Yeah.
But just so much to do. So I'd encourage anybody that maybe it's just their first time or they've done it before. The rodeo starts at 7:30. It's worth your time to try to drive in at 5:30. Trust me.
Yeah.
There's plenty to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a guarantee. If you don't leave happier after this rodeo, it's not the rodeo's fault. It's your fault.
Well, let's hope so.
Very cool. And with that $1 million, I assume the Cowboys are going to be amped up and geared up. Do you know any names off the top of your head that Cowboys will be here?
Well, we've got Junior Nogata. We've got Caleb Bent. The problem is you're really cautious this time of year to say who's going to show up because of injuries.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this. We just looked at the world champions. The 80% of our contestant field has performed at the National Finals Rodeo. Now, interestingly enough, because we're a gold medal rodeo, we make an effort to go across the country and give regional contestants an opportunity.
Yeah.
That, maybe they work for a living and they rodeo on the weekend, but they can't go full time like some of these cowboys. Well, we have paths that they get invited to our event. And it was 3 years ago that two young team ropers, one was 21 and one was 23, they beat all the big boys. They both got $50,000 checks. They went home and bought a ranch.
Oh, great.
That's important.
Yeah.
right? These guys, nobody expected them to beat the very best in the world, and they did. And so you'll see a little bit of that at ours. You'll see a guy that you're like, whoa, wow, he got slammed. But then you'll see a rookie that you may have never heard of that will put a big number up, and that's exciting, and it's good TV, it's good live event, it's fun.
Absolutely. All right, and then there's still some good opportunities for corporations to get involved as sponsors, and by that it's, bring your team, bring your staff, bring your top earners, give them this opportunity to go and enjoy that. Can you talk a little bit about those opportunities? Yeah,
we have our Ribs and Rodeo platform, and it's sold out.
Okay.
There's a waiting list, and that particular package gets you 12 seats and a dinner, and that one's sold out, but there is a waiting list, and we would encourage people. So what we decided was we'd create another level of sponsorship and integration, which we refer to as the Heritage Club. And it's an opportunity for someone to take their company and buy essentially 50 tickets, 10 tickets a night with parking passes, get some brand recognition, and be able to give that to clients or treat your employees or contractors to a fun time in the Heritage Club. And then we've also created some sponsorship partnership packages that are in the $10,000 to $25,000 range that include broadcast exposure and on-site exposure. And there's 50,000 people that come to our rodeo.
Yeah.
And it moves numbers. And so we're always looking for partnerships. You can go to our website. You can hit info and get any information. We're also happy to host you. If you go click and say, I want to know more about this, we'll host you. We'll show you around. We'll let you understand how your particular product or initiative fits into this package. Great stuff. We have great partners. There's Cabela's and Shields. Zions Bank is our presenter. Scott Anderson and the folks from Zion Bank are so incredibly generous in the community. And, we've got gold level sponsors that are just huge, so that we tried to spread it out.
Yeah.
So that everybody could play. You kind of get what you pay for.
Yep.
But there's a lot of opportunity. We'd love to host you, just show you what we've got. We'd love for you to be a part. And you're right. It's everybody that takes advantage of this Heritage Club package. You get with your tickets, you get a barbecue sandwich, bag of chips, and a drink. Well, in the big package, you get barbecue rib meal. But this one's cool because you come in, you got your own area, you pick up your sandwich. Great barbecue sandwich by R&R. You got seats for 10 every night. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Your employees will come back the next day with some stories.
They will, especially if they get on a pony or a mechanical bull.
There you go. All right, so arrive early because there's all sorts of great things. Fireworks to cap it off, and great rough stock, great cowgirls, great cowboys. Thank you so much, Tommy Joe. Looking forward to it.
I love being here. Love your podcast. Exciting times, fun things happening.
Yes,
Lots
sir.
of things happening in your space.
Yes, sir.
So onward and upward.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.